Italiano word of the day for today, Friday, 12 June 2026 is adottare, which translates to English as adopt. And I'm Tanis, here to Seattle. And last year, 2025, I think I put out a video on 24 February 2025, if I'm recalling correctly. I'll link in the video description where I was talking about if we came to domesticate the squirrels, possibly adopting the squirrels out. So this is not a new topic in terms of myself or of the critters. To adopt is to take something in as one's own, and specifically it tends to have a legal term in the realm of humans as well as animals. That includes documentation. And so this is what, so if thinking of the critters and me moving in with my Josh, he has a bunch of paperwork. It's a good, tedious, slow kind of moving in with my Josh, because we do need to document stuff because it's paperwork and they're animals. So there's a balance between moving my stuff and moving the critters and making sure there's somebody with the critters. And so, it's not just take them in a crate and put them in a house. It's make them part of the house, adopt them, make them part of our family. So taking a lot of like my to-do lists and being like, I have, critter mealtime, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and being like, but there might be additional tasks. So then that might be on his schedule, and then we might flip or something like that. So very much a tandem living together with the critters as we adopt them and they become part of our daily life. And so thinking through just how much that means, like, they haven't lived indoors before, so them getting adjusted means us being very much present and being parents to these critters. And so, like, even if we want to go on a walk around together, it might start off with one of us going and one of us staying with the critters. One of us going to the store, one of us staying with the critters until they're kind of used to being indoors, and that we do come back, and then maybe we can go together and do something when we come back. But being like, we might need to go to the movies separately, right? Because that's a big chunk away, and they're still like, we haven't lived indoors before, that kind of thing. So really thinking through, so we adopt them, but then what are we to them? What's that term? So this is a bit of a terminology one. So we adopt them. To the squirrel, then we are the adoptive family. So we become their adoptive, where it's adoptive in English. So there's so if I was adopted, the people I live with are my adoptive family. But then also thinking through, and there might be the people who contractually sign up. Well, here's one. So there's the adopted family on like paperwork. So Josh and I adopt the squirrels on paperwork. Well, let's say somehow Kona dog comes to live with us. He, in my heart, it applies to other family members as well. So like I would include Kona in the adoptive family, even though he might not be on the paperwork. And he might himself be adopted, that kind of thing. Is he would become part of the adoptive family to the squirrels. And it's in loving the squirrels, it can really feel like family, even if they're adopted. And we might come up with other terms. Right? They're part of my Duwamish blood family. I'm descended from squirrels, maybe, that kind of thing. And I was like, in that case, and thinking of it, you guys go, but I can't get past a dog living with squirrels indoors. It's like, well, maybe what we do is, my Josh and I, or whoever I'm living with mine, but my Josh, because this is really his focus with us, is like we have like 2 rooms that are squirrel designated only if Kona dog comes to live with us, and those are the ventricles. We call them the ventricles, the squirrel ventricles, like after the heart, my cardiology self-experimentation here, because Josh might want to do that for himself as well, or maybe tandem self-experimentation. So cardiology is the study of the heart and the blood in the heart system, at least for me. So there's a left and right ventricle in the heart. So like these are the squirrel's ventricles, and kind of come to see what the left and right utilities are, so to speak, of the ventricles, but then also turn the living room into the aorta. And I put my wind machine in the room, and I, you know, put a bed in the room, and I live in the room, and the squirrels get to learn to cohabitate with me and other people that come into the living room. But my wind machine is my fan that I turn on when I sleep. Our Kona dog doesn't necessarily like the wind machine on him, but maybe the squirrels do. They like their tail blowing in the wind or something. So if I point it at me when I sleep, I'm just like, you know, some people might think the dog is going to be the one on the bed, but maybe it's the squirrels. Right, that kind of thing. It allows for a squirrel space in a squirrel sanctuary. However, they get to interact with others. So there we go. What I'm trying to say is, especially in the case I am adopted, there's been a lot of care and effort into making me feel and be part of the family, and so could only hope to do that for the critters. And who knows, maybe your day will come as well to be that for a critter or critters. Anyway, in English as adopt, in Italian as adottare.